Also, New Jersey, mystery booms. Residents and police in one community
northeast of Oklahoma City are saying a loud, shrill noise is keeping them up at night.
And the crazy part, no one knows exactly what it is or where it's coming from.
In the shadow of ancient prophecies, Jerusalem once again becomes the stage for an event that has gripped the world's attention. The echoes of a mysterious celestial sound that reverberated not only through the streets of the sacred city, but across continents have stirred the hearts and minds of believers and skeptics alike. What significance do these events hold, and why have they emerged at this particular moment in history? Picture the golden twilight over Jerusalem, a city burdened by centuries of conflict yet steeped in sacredness. As the sun sets, a piercing sound rises, not of this earth but of a realm beyond, an unearthly trumpet blast that silences the noise of daily life. This is not a mere auditory phenomenon, it's a spiritual call that reverberates in the depths of every soul. Those who heard it were not just startled but stirred, as if a divine force had reached down and touched the earth, a prelude to something greater, something foretold. The sound itself, haunting yet majestic, echoes not just in Jerusalem but across oceans, continents, and time zones. From Oklahoma to Canada, from Los Angeles to Australia, the same sound is heard, a trumpet not of human origin but of heavenly significance. And it is in this sound that many see a fulfillment of ancient prophecy. As Revelation 8 verse 2 foretells, the sound of the trumpets is a harbinger, signaling the approach of divine judgment and the unfolding of the end times. And I saw the 7 angels who stand before God, and 7 trumpets were given to them. Could this sound, heard across the globe, be one of those trumpets? Could it be a call for humanity to awaken to the divine plan? The appearance of Jesus in the sky over Jerusalem, accompanied by a host of angels, adds weight to this celestial phenomenon. This is no ordinary occurrence, but a divine visitation. In a city where the weight of history and prophecy collides, Jesus, the King of Glory, has chosen to reveal himself once more. The question that arises is why now, and why in Jerusalem? This city, with its contested ownership and spiritual significance, has long been at the heart of divine interventions. Could this be a sign that the promises of old are being fulfilled? Let's consider the timing. As the world reels from the ongoing conflict in Israel, tensions rise and international leaders like President Joe Biden weigh in with criticism and sanctions. In the midst of such turmoil, a divine event occurs, almost as if to remind humanity that despite the chaos of human affairs, there is a higher power at work. The connection between the celestial sound and the appearance of Jesus cannot be dismissed as mere coincidence. It points to a divine orchestration, a reminder that God's plan is unfolding even amidst war and strife. For those who have long studied the words of the prophets, this moment resonates deeply. The prophecies of Isaiah, Ezekiel, and Revelation speak of signs and wonders that will mark the end times of divine interventions that will awaken the world to the presence of God. The trumpet sound, Jesus' appearance, and the global attention drawn to these events all align with these ancient predictions. The veil between heaven and earth has thinned, and what was once hidden is now being revealed. But what does this mean for us? Are we living in the days foretold by the prophets? Are the signs of the end times appearing before our very eyes? For many, these events have stirred a deep sense of urgency. The mysterious sound, the divine appearance, these are not merely signs to be observed but calls to action. They are reminders that the time to seek God is now, that the fulfillment of his promises is at hand. Could it be that we are living in the times foretold by ancient prophets? As we witness strange phenomena around the world, from mysterious sounds in the skies to unexplainable events, we are left to wonder if these are the signs of divine intervention. For centuries, the Bible has spoken of such moments that would signal the end of one age and the beginning of another. Jesus himself, in the days leading up to his crucifixion, spoke with urgency about events that would unfold, warning his disciples about the future destruction of Jerusalem and his eventual return in power and glory. It was during this pivotal time, on the Wednesday before his crucifixion, that Jesus spent hours teaching in the temple, seeking to prepare his followers for the difficult days ahead. As Luke 21 verse 37 to 38 recounts, Jesus taught in the temple during the day and retreated to the Mount of Olives at night, praying deeply in the Garden of Gethsemane. On one such evening, as he passed through the eastern gate, his disciples were captivated by the magnificence of Herod's temple. The golden walls of the temple shone brightly in the fading sunlight, a breathtaking sight. It was a moment filled with awe, yet Jesus' next words left the disciples shaken. The time will come when not one stone will be left on another, every one of them will be thrown down. Luke 21 verse 56. This prophecy was far more than a statement about the physical destruction of the temple. It was a revelation of monumental shifts to come, a time when everything they knew would change. For those who followed Jesus, hearing that the heart of their faith, the temple itself, would be destroyed, must have felt like the collapse of the world around them. This prophecy echoed the warnings of the ancient prophet Micah, who centuries before had declared, "Zion shall be plowed like a field, Jerusalem shall become a heap of ruins." Micah 3 verse 12. And so it happened in 70 AD, when the Roman general Titus led his armies to fulfill this prophecy, reducing the temple and much of Jerusalem to rubble. Yet, the story did not end there. The Roman Empire would return with even more fury in 135 AD under Emperor Hadrian, after the Jewish rebellion led by Simon Bar Kokhba. This time, the destruction was so complete that the Romans symbolically plowed over the ruins of Jerusalem, an action that fulfilled both Micah's and Jesus' prophecies in a brutal, historic manner. But what do these ancient events mean for us today? As Jesus sat with his disciples on the Mount of Olives, they asked him the very questions that we find ourselves asking now. "Teacher, when will these things happen? What will be the signs of their coming?" Jesus' response was layered with warnings. He told them to be cautious, not to be deceived, for many would come in his name, claiming to be the Messiah. He warned that wars, revolutions, and global conflict would arise, but these would not signal the immediate end. "These things must happen first, but the end will not come right away," he said. In fact, Jesus foretold of a time when nations would rise against nations and kingdoms against kingdoms. Earthquakes, famines, and natural disasters would shake the world, accompanied by fearful events and signs from heaven. These were ominous words, but they offered clarity. The end was not to be marked by fear, but by watchfulness and readiness. As we see global turmoil, natural disasters, and mysterious signs today, could it be that we are approaching the fulfillment of these ancient prophecies? Are the events unfolding before us part of a greater plan, leading us to prepare for what is to come? Perhaps these are not merely random occurrences, but rather divine messages reminding us of the urgency of repentance and vigilance. In the Olivet Discourse, Jesus elaborated on the signs that would precede his return, warning of deception and unrest, yet encouraging his followers to remain steadfast. While some might argue that today's phenomena can be explained by natural science or dismissed as mere coincidence, there is a deeper call here, a call to examine our hearts. The Bible's prophetic words continue to resonate through history and into our present day. Are we paying attention, or are we simply waiting for more evidence before we believe? Whether through scientific discovery or spiritual awakening, the questions remain the same. What are these signs telling us? And, more importantly, how will we respond? As we stand on the precipice of unprecedented global turmoil, many turn their eyes to ancient prophecies, wondering how these ancient texts apply to the events unfolding before us. The fall of Jerusalem, a fulfillment of prophecy already realized, was just the beginning. The second part, heralding the return of Christ, looms large in our future. Signs of his imminent return, as mentioned in Matthew 24, remain relevant. Wars, disasters, and moral decay escalate, painting a chilling picture of the times we live in. As believers, we often interpret prophecy through the lens of personal and national struggles, hoping Christ's return will bring resolution. Yet, Jesus' words forewarned of something greater, an abomination of desolation, a clear marker of the end. Jesus' first caution, however, was not just about external events, but about deception. He warned, "Watch out that you are not deceived." In today's world, deception has woven itself into the very fabric of society, infiltrating politics, education, media, and even the industries that sustain life itself: banking, energy, food. The spiritual battle we face now is not a new one. It is the same war between good and evil that has raged since the dawn of time. The enemy, Satan, has placed his agents in positions of influence, promoting twisted values and corrupt ideologies. Through media, television, and the internet, Satan's grip on hearts and minds has tightened, manipulating truths and spreading falsehoods. The Bible urges believers to hold fast to the truth and resist the enemy's schemes, for his tactics are rooted in deceit, designed to confuse and weaken the faithful. In this digital age, the strange events we witness, from unexplained sounds in the heavens to bizarre natural occurrences, trigger a global dialogue. Social media teems with theories, shared videos, and personal encounters with the supernatural. These discussions are not limited to the religious or the superstitious. Even skeptics find themselves questioning the meaning behind these phenomena. Why do we hear strange sounds from the skies? Why are natural disasters more frequent and devastating? Could it be that we are living in the end times, as foretold in scriptures? These global conversations point to a collective yearning to understand the unseen, the spiritual forces at play in our lives. The eerie sounds echoing across the world draw attention to an ancient truth: the divide between the natural and the supernatural is thinner than we often believe. These strange signs may be more than just atmospheric anomalies. They may be the whispers of prophecy unfolding in real time. As theologians debate the significance of these events, believers are called to reevaluate the modern world's dismissive attitude toward spirituality and prophecy. These occurrences are not just curiosities, they may serve as warnings, calling us to prepare our hearts and minds for the greater events to come. The Bible reminds us that cosmic signs will precede Christ's return. Jesus himself spoke of the sun darkening, the moon losing its light, stars falling from the sky, and heavenly bodies shaking, signs that would usher in his triumphant return. Recent cosmic events, such as the solar eclipse of April 8th, have left many wondering if these phenomena are fulfilling Jesus' words. For a few moments, the sky went dark, as if giving the world a glimpse of what is to come. Could this be the opening act of the sixth seal mentioned in Revelation? Prophecies speak not only of the destruction to come, but of the hope that will follow. The angels will gather the elect, and those sealed by God will stand before his throne, a multitude from every nation worshiping in unity. Revelation 7 speaks of the sealing of 144,000 from the tribes of Israel, a remnant chosen by God, included in the raptured church alongside Gentile believers. This unity of Jews and Gentiles, gathered by the sound of a trumpet, signals the fulfillment of God's ultimate plan: his people, drawn from every corner of the earth, standing together in victory. As the world spirals deeper into chaos, prophecy offers both a warning and a promise. The warning is clear: deception is rampant, and the enemy is hard at work. The promise, however, is even more powerful: God is preparing his people for Christ's return. The strange sounds, cosmic signs, and unsettling events are not random. They are part of a greater narrative that calls us to be vigilant, to cling to the truth, and to stay spiritually prepared. The hand of God is at work, and his protection is assured for those who trust in his word. In these times of uncertainty, may we listen not only to the sounds of the earth, but to the voice of God, guiding us through the storm toward the ultimate fulfillment of his prophecy. The sudden sound that reverberated through the streets of Jerusalem carried an otherworldly quality, a sound unlike anything human hands could produce. It filled the city with a sense of awe and wonder, drawing attention to the skies above. Witnesses, shaken by the phenomenon, spoke in hushed tones of trumpets that seemed to echo across time, evoking memories of ancient prophecies long foretold. Some whispered the words of Revelation, while others recalled Zechariah's vision of the coming king. Could these signs be part of a grander design, a fulfillment of the words spoken by prophets from millennia past? As people stood in bewilderment, a figure emerged in the heavens, a radiant being clothed in light, watching over the holy city. Some claimed it was Christ himself, his presence unmistakable, standing as a protector and guide for his people. This wasn't just a random event, but a continuation of the divine narrative unfolding before our very eyes. The trumpets, the figure in the sky, all these signs spoke of something larger at play, something beyond the comprehension of mere mortals. The scene brought to mind Revelation 1 verse 7, "Behold, he is coming with the clouds, and every eye will see him, even those who pierced him." Could it be that the time for the fulfillment of these words is drawing near? Are we like the generations before us, witnesses to the unfolding of biblical prophecy? This raises deeper questions in a world grappling with turmoil and uncertainty. Are we attuned to the signs of the times? Are we prepared to recognize God's hand moving through history, calling us back to faith?